Felicia, you've competed for a long time, trained, of course, for a long time. When you look back at your training history or competition history, what stands out the most?
What stands out the most? Two experiences. One was competing in Abu Dhabi in 2007. When I started Jiu Jitsu, I started here at Jean Jacque's, and he was active. That was like 2000, end of 2000, and at that time they didn't have women, and so it wasn't, never on the radar that something like that could happen. And then in 2005 they added women in, and in 2006 they had the North American trials. So I won that, and then I went to Abu Dhabi, and unfortunately that year it wasn't such an exotic location. It was New Jersey.
Right.
So, the free trip, it's okay. You just stay focused on the competition.
Right.
And so at that tournament, I beat Letitia the first round, and then I beat Megumi Fuji and tapped her in the second round. And so that was kind of one of the high moments for me. And then
before you get to the next one, so was ADCC always like, well, once they added the women's division, was that like your big competition goal, more so than the Mundials?
During my time training, I never had really long-term goals. Like, it was always just keep moving forward, keep moving forward, keep moving forward. And, in Jiu-Jitsu, there's not one federation or one league or like one Olympics or anything like that. So it was just like every time something would come up, okay, it's grappling sports, okay, let's go, and it's close. Or, oh, Worlds is now moved to LA, okay, let's go. And so it was, just every opportunity that came up that, made sense, that was close by, that I could get to, or a sponsor would pay to go. So when that happened, it was kind of like that was the obvious next thing to do. But I think that's also just how I trained. It wasn't like, oh, I want my blood. It's just like, just keep training every day. Just come in and take each little step. So, I guess that works both ways in life. I'm not like a real long-term planner either, which could hurt a little bit sometimes. But I think definitely in Jiu-Jitsu it helps because it is such a long journey, and the time between belts, and people are giving stripes a little more. With everyone, so that makes it a little different. But in the old days, like there didn't used to be even stripes, right? So then the time between belts kind of could be long, So I don't think I ever really focused on that as much.
Okay.
So that it was amazing when it happened. It was like, okay, this is the next step.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And your other most memorable moment?
The other one is in 2007, FILA, they ran Olympic wrestling and Olympic judo, I think, at the time, and they started a grappling division. And because they had those Olympic sports, I thought this was going to be the way that Jiu-Jitsu might go and get into that place. So I competed in that organization to help support that effort, and I made the team in 2007, and the tournament was in Turkey. And it's the first time I'd been to a place like that. And in that environment, it was by country as well. So you were representing the United States at that point. And this is post 9/11 and all that stuff. And I think actually just a week or two before we left, they had arrested some terrorists from a town near where we were going. And that was the first time in my life that when I won and I was on the podium, they played the national anthem. And it makes such a difference because we're in a Muslim country, and the world was a bit hostile, and I was in an environment where I was representing the country, and so now that has changed. Every time when I'm at an event and they play the national anthem, it brings me back to that, and I get a little like misty on that because also growing up I did gymnastics, and I watched Nadia and different things like that, and so that was the dream as a child, to do gymnastics in the Olympics, or get that. And I wasn't really good at gymnastics, so that wasn't really like a possible dream. But to do that in a foreign country, in that environment, was kind of changed. Before I kind of national anthem, no big deal. Now it kind of makes me appreciate the country in a different way.
Right, makes you feel patriotic.
Yeah.